I got a free snake. What's up, YouTube? So, if you have been watching me for a while, you know that there was a time earlier this year where I had sexed two snakes and they were the wrong gender. So, I was supposed to get two females, and I got two males. So, it was a mistake on my part for not checking them earlier on and when I first got them, and a mistake on the breeder's part for not checking before he sent them. Now, I'm not gonna say that it doesn't happen, because it does happen. People don't check their snakes right before they send them, but they check when they come out of the egg, or they check periodically, and then sometimes you just miss sex a snake. And the easiest way to prevent that from happening is to probe. The popping method, while it works, it's not the best method, mainly because sometimes you can pop a male and you don't pop them right, and nothing comes out, and then you think it's a female. So therefore, the best way is just to probe. Now, I didn't probe or pop. I just took the word of the breeder, and that was on me. So now every time I get a snake, I probe it immediately as it gets here, because some people, when they ship you a snake, they say, hey, if you have any problems within the first few hours, let me know. And then obviously they'll work something out. But then if you wait several days for whatever reason, usually they don't help you out. I don't know how it works. But if it's miss sex on my part, no matter if it's been 3 years, I always help you out. That's just the way the kind of person I am. And it's also the kind of person this guy was. So I want to give a shout out to Butte Ball Pythons. I'll put it down at the bottom of the screen. This is who I ordered my snakes from. So the two snakes that I was supposed to get, Super Pastel, Spot Nose, maybe Inchy, or a Leopard. I can't remember what the combo was. Double Het, Desert Ghost Clown. And the second snake was a Super Pastel, Inchy Leopard, Double Het, Desert Ghost Clown. I had sexed them probably like 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, and they were males. Obviously very disappointing, because at that point they were already like 700, 800 grams, and I'm like, the reason I sexed them was because, well, if I start breeding them anytime soon, then I'll know that if I start breeding them anytime soon, then I need to know what gender it is, and I just had to be 100% sure before I started putting them into my breeding plan. And sure enough, they weren't females. I obviously went back to Butte Ball Pythons, and we're just like, hey, this is what happened. They're like, dang, it's like, one is a fluke, but two, man, I mean, he was stunned on his own that happened. So I was just like, what are we gonna do? He said, well, I don't know, but I have a clutch hatching, later in the year. We'll see what we can do when that clutch hatches. Well, the clutch hatched, and it was either ship back the two snakes, and he'll send me one for free, or he'll give me a credit towards the snake. And I was like, well, let's see what I can do, because I don't want to put these snakes through, a shipping again and all that. So I tried to find some people locally, and that way I could just use that money to buy the snake and, be fair about it, right? Well, I found somebody to buy the Spot Nose, the Inchy Leopard. I couldn't find anybody for. By the time the clutch hatched and he started telling me about it and started listing for sale, the male that was an Inchy Leopard, he's like 900 grams now, and I'm like, you know what? He's staying. Like, that's it. I've grown fond of him. He's pretty cool. His genetics still really good. I'm not gonna lie. Even though he's not visual or anything like that, that was mainly the thing I was trying to go, was get two Het females that had some codoms, and then get a double visual male, or at least a visual Het male, just to make it easy for me down the road. Obviously, that wasn't the plan for me, because there was another plan apparently. So that's what happened. I told him, hey, I don't know what you want to do, but I kind of like this male now. I don't want to get rid of him. He said, don't worry about it. Keep the male. I'll send you a snake. And I mean, I was so stunned. I was so surprised by it. I definitely appreciate that gesture. Obviously, it was my fault for not checking the snakes early on, because that would have been resolved then. But he definitely resolved it now. I got to keep the snake that I like, even though he's probably, I don't know if I'm going to breed him at all, because of the fact that, I don't even have females for him right now, because those two snakes were supposed to be the females that I had. And then I was going to get a male this year. That way by next year, when they were up to size, I would have had the trio. But that's not how it works. So, yeah, so there you go. That's how I got a free snake. Let me show you the free snake. She's pretty cool. And I'll tell you about her. So this is a Super Pastel Spot Nose Desert Ghost Het Clown. Super nice. Incredible. Yeah, you know, it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like pastel. And I've already made a video about pastel. I really like pastel. But Super Pastel and Desert Ghost, it's incredible. And Desert Ghost by itself, you know, already has like the washed out heads and everything. But when you add pastel on top of it, the washed out head turns into a washed out baddie. And when you add Super Pastel, it's just washed out altogether. Like this is ridiculous. Now, the male that I had that was a Super Pastel Spot Nose, he looked like this. But the fact that he didn't have Desert Ghost on him made him super dark. And this Desert Ghost just makes it so much lighter. Like this honestly reminds me like some kind of pudding or something like that. Not obviously the black parts, but like the color reminds me like some kind of like pudding color. I don't know. It's hard to explain it. It's just so creamy. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful color. Like that's it. Like this is the snake that I was trying to replicate. But yeah, I was hoping to at least get, you know, I don't even know what I was hoping to get. So next year I was obviously trying to find that male. But I was hoping to get some, you know, Super Pastel or Pastel Batman Desert Ghost with some Inchy in it, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, it's fine. I have to wait a couple more years, but this actually puts me closer because this is a Visual Desert Ghost Het Clown versus what I had before was double het. So this is a female. I finally got a female. Yes, she is a female. Has already been sexed. I'm sure he wouldn't want to make the same mistake 3 times, but I definitely sexed her when she arrived here. But she's super nice, super awesome. She hasn't ate for me yet, but that's fine. It usually takes a while. She's only been here a week. So there's that. What else? What else do I got going on? Oh, I'll tell you what I got going on. So I have to sell some of my holdbacks. And I'm going to make a video about that, but it's not the best scenario for me right now. I already had to, so a little background. If you've already watched the holdback videos, you know I kept a bunch of holdbacks. I had, I think, 11 holdbacks this year for ball pythons. Well, things happen. Now I'm down to 3 holdbacks. Yeah. I needed the money. I had car issues. I had a tax bill that came from 2019. And obviously you can't mess with the IRS. You can't mess with the taxes. If they say you owe something, you barely can question it or else they take all your money. It's ridiculous. So I was like, you know what? I'll call them, see what I can do. And yeah. So now I had to sell some holdbacks. So I had to sell a Pinstripe Xanthic VPI Pied, and she paid for most of it, but I still have to sell some other things. So if you see any holdbacks on my website, once I finish paying off everything, I will keep everything that's left because obviously I still wanted those holdbacks, but I need to obviously make a little bit of money before I can decide what holdbacks I need. So yeah, it's not a good scenario. It's not the best thing that could happen, but it's just bad timing. The holidays are around the corner. I was already, you know, trying to buy presents and stuff like that. Now I also have to deal with a tax bill. I also have to deal with a car breaking down. It was freaking ridiculous. That's just how things work, right? When you think everything's steady, everything's smooth, you know, things start tumbling down. But you got to stay positive. You got to do what you got to do, which is why I had to sell some holdbacks. But you got to do what you got to do, and you got to do it positively, upbeat, open heart. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe, just maybe, the car breaking down was a sign that I needed a new car. Who knows? But I'm definitely not getting a new car now because I fixed it. But I don't know. I don't like buying cars, to be honest. I've had the same car for a long time. Yeah, it's been a while. I also have a 91 Miata. Not that that matters to anybody. So I don't think I've ever worn my Miata shirt. I have a Miata shirt and everything. I have a Super shirt, a GTR shirt. I like cars a little bit, just saying. But yeah, I had to pay some stuff, and that's why I had to sell some holdbacks. But I'll make a separate video on the holdbacks that I'm selling, just so people can get an idea of it. I also got some new snakes. Let's see what I got. Oh yeah, I got a new snake right here. And shed, of course. Why wouldn't she be in shed? So this is a hypopide, pastel hypopide. So she is probably like 700, 600 grams or something like that. And yep, new snake. I do have a Killer Blast OD hypohepide male that's already in rotation this year. So next year, I'm hoping that whatever babies he produces for me this year, like some OD hypopides and stuff like that, I can plug into her. And then obviously everything will be double visual because it'll be hypopide to hypopide. So that'd be pretty neat. But we'll see what happens. It's just all about timing right now. But yeah, the male's already in rotation. It's also about the odds that we get because he was paired to a pied hypo. So there's a chance we don't even hit any double visuals. And there's also even bigger chance that if we do hit a double visual, that it's not a male, right? So it could be a female, which is fine. I might keep her anyways. But yeah, super nice female, pastel hypopide. And I think I got one more that I haven't shown off yet. Then I also got this snake. So this is another female. Obviously, this was an adult, but this one is an Inchy Pinstripe Pied. This is going to be paired to the Mahogany Pied, obviously. You know what? The Mahogany Pied, I've been pairing him to a Banana Inchy Pied female, and I don't know what it is about him, but he's like, I know it's his first year, but he's super weird about breeding. Like, I'll have him with the female for like 3-4 days. He won't touch her for the first 2 days. And then the last 2 days, he's all over her. And it's like, why would you wait 2 days? But it's whatever. So I'm hoping that I could definitely, he gets used to breeding. And then, I don't waste him on a different female because he's being in there longer. Because they can usually lock for like 3-4 days, something like that. And you don't want to have him locking an entire week, practically with the female, having him paired with for an entire week. And then, next week comes around, he's exhausted. He doesn't want to pair with a second female. So we'll see how he figures it out. But this is the other female. Inchy Pinstripe Pied. Also, she's been sexed. So I know she's a female, but she's super low white. I love the low white stuff, man. Look at that. Look at all that white. 2 little specks of white on the rest of the body is gray. But yeah, super nice female. She's already developing follicles. She's been staying on the cooler side of the tub. So she may be put into rotation real quick, probably this week. So tomorrow for me is hump day. I usually do hump day on Wednesdays. I'm filming this video on the same day that I'm recording it just because I try to be up to date every so often. And then sometimes you'll see like a video of me like with a completely different haircut or something like that. It's usually the same haircut, but like more facial hair. My hair is a little scraggly, stuff like that, and then you'll know that the video went backwards in time. But yeah, this is the last female I want to show off. So this week was a little weird, or this past week was a little weird for me. I got a free snake. I got 2 new snakes. I had to fix a car. I have to pay the IRS. Yeah, it's crazy. It was timing. It was really just timing because if I wouldn't have bought these snakes, I would have had no problem paying for the car and paying for the IRS tax bill and everything and still keep my holdbacks. But it just had to happen that way. It just had to happen that way. And it kind of sucks that it happened that way, but that's just how life goes. And I'm not worried about it because I can always reproduce the same stuff. Probably better stuff. And that's fine. Obviously, with that Pinstripe Xanthic BPI Pied, I had called them my pride and joy in the video because they're the most expensive snakes I ever produced. And someone commented saying, hey, you should name them Pride and Joy. I don't hardly name any animal unless I plan on keeping it long term and as a pet, right? So that's the main thing. If I name an animal, it's a pet. It's not no longer just a breeder, and I'll keep it probably for the rest of its life. The problem with that is I kept Joy. Pride is no longer here. Pride is at a friend's house, which is like an hour away from here, which is fine. That means she's still technically here because I can still go see her. But I already told him if he sells her or he has any intention of selling her, he has to get back with me because I'll definitely buy her back in a heartbeat. But yeah, this is the video. I ain't got nothing else going on. yeah, that's everything I got. So thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything that I put out in the future. As always, peace.